Namaste, my witchlings. I am so very glad you are here. Truly. Now, whether you're listening curled up in the dark of your bedroom, tucked into a quiet corner of a way too loud house, or hiding in the bathroom because 5 uninterrupted minutes feels like a luxury, I see you. And you are exactly where you need to be. Tonight matters. After around about 30 years on my path as a practicing witch and as a yoga instructor deep in my 300-hour training, here is one thing I know in my bones. The most powerful magic we ever work is not always done in a circle under a full moon with candles, chants, and lots of other people. Sometimes the strongest spell we cast is the one that protects our nervous system when the world and our families get loud, intrusive, or just overwhelming. Now, the holidays can be a minefield. There's history in the air. Old roles dusted off and handed back to us like we never set them down. And for many of us, especially veterans, caregivers, cycle breakers, and those of us living our beautifully scrunchy truths inside very traditional spaces, this season stirs up a whole lot of emotional weather. Proximity brings memory, and if we're being honest, love and harm so often share the same living room. So let me be clear about what tonight is and what it is not. We are not here to fix anyone else. We are not here to force forgiveness, and we are not here to spiritualize our own discomfort away. Tonight, my friends, we're practicing from the inside out. We're coming back to you. Back to your center, back to your body, and back to your sovereignty. We're building a mandala of protection around your beautiful, tender, and resilient soul, and we are doing it without guilt. Before we begin, tend to your space like the sacred container it is. Dim the lights if you can. Take a sip of tea or water. Wrap yourself in a blanket if one happens to be nearby. Adjust your body until it gets the message. I am allowed to be comfortable, not later, not after you've earned it, now. This is your time. This is your practice. And you don't have to hold the whole world while you're here. So let's begin. Namaste, witchlings. If you are here, there is a very, very good chance the holidays don't feel like the glittering, harmonious montage that we're told they're supposed to be. Maybe they never have been. Or maybe this year especially, the gap between expectation and lived reality feels wider than usual. Perhaps you're the one who asks uncomfortable questions, who believes compassion should extend beyond slogans, who trusts science, who listens to people when they say they're hurting. And maybe you're sitting at tables or bracing for conversations with people who just don't see the world the way you do. And let me tell you, that alone can be so exhausting. Or maybe your body is carrying its own story. Chronic pain, trauma, service-connected injuries, neurodivergence, grief that just doesn't follow a nice, neat little calendar. Maybe you're the one who has always been expected to smooth things over, keep the peace, make nice, and swallow your own discomfort so everybody else can stay comfortable. And now you're tired. Bone deep spirit tired. And tired in ways that sleeping for 100 years doesn't fix. Let's name this gently and clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not failing at the holidays. You are not broken because joy feels complicated. You are not unspiritual because you need boundaries instead of transcendence right now. Needing space, rest, or clarity does not mean you lack love. It means you understand your limits. And that understanding, honey, is wisdom. Tonight, we are not here to bypass reality or polish it into something more palatable. Right now, we are here to practice emotional sovereignty. And that means recognizing what is actually yours to carry and what is not. You cannot control other people's beliefs, behaviors, or reactions. You cannot manage their denial, their anger, or their absolute refusal to listen. What you can tend to is your own inner landscape, your breath, your body, your nervous system, and your right to exist without apology. So let's start there. Find a position that feels supportive rather than performative. So if you are lying down, allow the surface beneath you, be it the floor, bed, couch, or the earth itself, allow it to receive your weight fully. You do not need to hold yourself up right now. You are completely allowed to be held. Feel the places where your body meets the support. Notice how gravity is already doing the work without asking anything from you in return. If you're seated, let your spine rise naturally, not rigid, not forced. This is not a posture of discipline or endurance. Let it be more like a tree, rooted below, flexible above, flexible enough to sway without breaking. Your head can float easily over your shoulders, and your hands can rest wherever they feel at home. Now, bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to fix it. Don't deepen it. Don't make it calm or pretty. Just notice it as it is. Honest breath. Maybe it's shallow. Maybe it's uneven. Maybe it feels tight or rushed. That's information, not a problem. As you exhale, quietly offer your nervous system a very simple message. We are safe enough right now. Not perfectly safe, not forever safe, just safe enough in this moment to pause. Again, inhale, however it comes, and exhale and repeat the message, safe enough. One more time, inhale, and sigh it out. Now, scan your awareness gently through your body. Start with your jaw. Notice if your teeth are clenched or your tongue is pushing against the roof of your mouth. So many of us carry years and years of swallowed words right here. If you find tension, you're not doing anything wrong. Those muscles learned their job a long time ago. Silently thank them for trying to protect you, and then, if it feels possible, invite them to soften just 1%, just a smidge. No forcing, no yanking them open. A small permission is enough. let that awareness now drift to your shoulders. Are they lifted, hovering near your ears like armor? That, too, is a strategy. It's a way of bracing for impact. Thank them, and then invite a tiny release, as if the shoulders could remember they don't have to carry the whole world tonight. Notice the belly. Is it gripping, holding, pulling inward? See if you can allow it to be soft, even if only for a breath or two. Soft does not mean vulnerable in a dangerous way. It means responsive, alive. Now, imagine a boundary forming around you. Not a wall, not a fortress, a breathable field. An intelligent, living boundary that knows the difference between nourishment and noise. This boundary allows in what is kind, supportive, and true. And it filters out what is cruel, chaotic, or depleting. You don't have to argue with what stays outside. You don't have to explain yourself to it. The boundary simply does its job. Inside this space, you are allowed to take up room. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to rest without earning it, to feel without justifying it, and to be exactly who you are in this moment. No edits required. This is the ground of our practice tonight. Not fixing, not proving, not transcending, just arriving. Just claiming the right to be here in your body, in your truth, as the year turns and the world makes its demands. You are so not alone in this, my witchling, and you don't have to carry it all at once. We'll move slowly from here. Bring your awareness to gravity. Not as an idea to analyze, but as lived experience already happening. Gravity is a quiet, constant force that has been holding you literally since the day you were born. Before you had words. Before you had opinions. Before you learned who was safe and who was not. Gravity has never asked you to prove your worth, explain your identity, soften your edges, or make yourself more palatable. The earth does not demand that you be agreeable. It does not require you to be nicer, quieter, more traditional, or easier to digest. It does not care who you voted for, how you worship, or whether your family understands you. It simply receives you. Let yourself feel that receiving now. The steady downward pull, the way your body is already being held without effort. You are not floating alone in space. You are in relationship with something vast, ancient, and dependable. In sacred spiral flow, we begin with the root. Not because it's trendy or symbolic, but because without grounding, everything else becomes performative. So imagine now that from the base of your spine, from the bowl of your pelvis, and from the root or the soles of your feet, roots begin to grow. These roots move slowly, deliberately. They pass through the floor beneath you, through the carpet or tile or wood, through concrete and foundation, through layers you don't have to name, and they sink into the soil, deep, dark, and fertile. This is not a forced visualization. You are not trying to root. You are remembering something your body already knows. You are anchored. These roots belong only to you. They are not communal property. They do not tangle with your mother's anxiety, your father's expectations, your siblings' judgments, or that one uncle's opinions that always seem to suck the oxygen out of the room. Those things are not yours to metabolize. Your roots draw nourishment from your own values, your lived experience, your hard-earned clarity, your survival. Notice how it feels to be rooted without apology. Many of us, especially those of us who grew up needing to read the room in order to stay safe, have a habit of leaning forward, physically, energetically, emotionally. We anticipate, we brace. We scan for shifts in tone, micro-expressions, and danger signals. This vigilance once kept us alive. It does deserve respect. And tonight, it gets to rest. If you notice your body subtly pitching forward, your chin jutting, your shoulders tense, your belly pulled in, see if maybe you can gently lean back. Not collapsing or checking out, just leaning back into your roots. Let the earth take a little more of your weight. You do not need to be on high alert to be safe in this moment. Say that silently to yourself if it helps. I do not need to brace right now. Grounding is not dissociation. It is actually the opposite. It is choosing to arrive where you actually are, rather than where your nervous system thinks you might need to be. So let's orient to the present. First, sound. Without searching, notice one sound that is happening right now. Maybe it's the hum of a heater, the crackle of the wood in the fireplace, the distant sound of traffic, the wind brushing against the building, or even the quiet ringing that comes when everything else fades. Let that sound anchor you here. Next, sensation. Notice one physical sensation in your body. The weight of the blanket, the pressure of the floor beneath you, the temperature of the air touching your skin. Don't have to name it, don't have to judge it, just name it. This is what I feel right now. And now, sight. If your eyes are open or softly closed. If open, rest your gaze on one steady object. A candle flame, a shadow, the edge of a piece of furniture. Something that isn't moving much. Let your eyes linger there. If closed, imagine something simple and stable. A stone, a tree trunk, a low flame that doesn't flicker wildly. As you do this, offer your nervous system another clear message. I am here. This is now. Let that land. This moment is not 1998. It is not 2003. It is not that holiday. It is not that holiday table, that slammed door, that look of disappointment, or the argument you replay in the shower. Those moments shaped you, yes, but they are not happening right here, right now. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you are supported. Right now, you are allowed to take up space without being interrogated. If your mind wanders, and it will, trust me, that's not failure, that's habit. Each time you notice and return to sound, sensation, or sight, you are teaching your nervous system something new. We can come back. Stay with your roots for a few more breaths. Feel how they hold you steady without rigidity. And feel how grounding does not trap you. It stabilizes you. From this place, you are not shrinking. You are not disappearing. You are standing exactly where you are, connected to the present, and no longer borrowing fear from the past. This is reclamation, grounding, and this is enough for now. Now, let's gently move into the next layer of this practice. We are not going to reopen old wounds. We are not going to replay conversations, facial expressions, or moments that stole your breath. This is not exposure therapy, and it definitely is not an exercise in endurance. Tonight is about awareness without immersion, about naming without drowning. So begin by lightly bringing to mind the emotional weather of your family gatherings. Not the story, not the timeline, just the atmosphere. Is it tense, unpredictable, heavy, performative, cold beneath forced cheer? All of the above? As you do this, notice your body's response before your mind starts narrating. Does your chest tighten a little? Does your breath get shallow? Maybe your jaw clenches and your shoulders kinda inch upward. Pause here. Pause here and quietly, kindly say to yourself, this makes sense. Say it again if needed. This makes sense. Your body did not invent this reaction out of nowhere. It learned it through repetition, lived experience, and through those moments where staying alert, quiet, agreeable, or invisible was the safest available option. Your nervous system adapted intelligently to what it was given. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not overreacting. You are informed. If, as you notice this emotional weather, you feel an urge to pull away, numb out, scroll internally, or to disappear completely, pause and simply name it. There's the urge to leave. There's the urge to go blank. Yes, there's the urge to just float away. No judgment, no fixing. Naming the urge keeps you in the driver's seat. It creates just enough space between you and the reaction that you are no longer being carried by it. You're noticing it instead. That's power. Quiet, steady power. Okay? Okay. Now, bring your attention to where this stress lives in your body. Don't search aggressively. Let it reveal itself. Is it sitting in your gut, heavy or knotted? In your throat, tight or constricted? Maybe in your chest, like pressure or a held breath. Or your temples, buzzing or braced. Wherever you notice it most clearly, let your awareness just rest there. Imagine your awareness as a warm, steady hand. Not probing, not demanding answers, just resting. If it helps, imagine that hand as something deeply comforting. Maybe the gentle weight of Sarge's paw, warm and solid, placed right where you need it the most. Let that imagined touch be kind, unhurried, and let it say wordlessly, I'm here with you. This is not about making the sensations go away, Witchling. This is about practicing being with yourself as you are. So many of us learned early on that discomfort meant abandonment. That if things felt hard inside, we were on our own. This practice rewires that story. You are not leaving yourself now. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, imagine that warm hand or paw softening the edges of the sensation, not erasing it, just letting it know it doesn't have to shout to be noticed. It is important to understand this next part. Anticipatory stress is not a flaw. It's a protective response. It's your inner witchling scanning the horizon saying, last time this hurt, and I don't want to be blindsided again. That part of you deserves respect. So, instead of telling it to calm down or go away, speak to it directly, internally, gently, with authority rooted in care. Say, I see you. I know why you're here. Thank you for trying to protect us. And then, from your grounded adult self, add, I've got us now. Feel the difference between those two positions. One is bracing for impact, and the other is steady, rooted, and present. You are not dismissing the fear, you're updating it. You might say, it's not happening right now. We are resourced in ways we weren't before. And best, we have choices now. Let that reassurance travel through the roots you imagined earlier, down into the earth, anchoring it somewhere deeper than thought. If emotion arises, sadness, anger, grief, fatigue, allow it to be there without expanding the story. Feelings are weather too. They move, they pass. You do not need to chase them or shut them down. Stay with sensation, with breath, and with patience. This is the practice. Naming without reliving. Witnessing without collapsing. Allowing your body to tell the truth now rather than forcing it to pretend nothing ever happened. You are learning to listen to yourself with steadiness instead of urgency, with compassion instead of critique. And that right there, that is nervous system healing in real time. Take one more slow breath. Feel your hand, your paw, your awareness still resting where it needs to be. You are doing this exactly right. We'll move on when you're ready. And now, my witchling, we arrive at sovereignty, not as something to fight for, but as something to remember. Place one hand gently on your heart and one on your belly. Let the contact be firm enough to feel and soft enough to be kind. This simple gesture is not symbolic. It is physiological. This is how we regulate. This is how we tell the body, I am here with you. Let your breath move naturally beneath your hands. Feel the rise and the fall. Feel the warmth of your own touch. From this place, silently offer yourself these permissions. Don't rush them. Let each one land fully before moving to the next. I am allowed to protect my peace. Notice if any part of you resists that statement. That resistance is not a failure, it's a clue. So many of us were taught that peace was conditional, that it came last, that it had to be earned through compliance or sacrifice. Breathe anyway. Let the permission stand. I am allowed to choose distance. Distance does not mean cruelty. It does not mean punishment. Sometimes distance is simply the space required for the nervous system to stay intact. Let that truth settle into your belly where discernment lives. I am allowed to rest without resolving a single thing. This one can feel radical. Notice what stirs. The urge to fix. The urge to explain. The urge to smooth it all over so everyone else can relax. And gently remind yourself, rest is not avoidance. Rest is maintenance and what allows you to remain whole. Keep your hands where they are as we move into the inner refuge. I want you to imagine a place that belongs only to you. This is not a shared space. It is not open to commentary or negotiation. This is your inner refuge, a place your nervous system recognizes as safe, neutral, or deeply nourishing. There is no right way for it to look. Maybe it's a forest, tall and quiet, where the air smells like earth and pine. Maybe it's a secluded beach, where the waves roll in and out with the steady rhythm of breath, like the breath of the goddess herself. Maybe it's a cozy library with warm light, worn chairs, and silence that feels like permission. Maybe it's somewhere entirely imagined, formed from color, texture, and feeling rather than scenery. Let the place form naturally. You don't need to force details, just notice what appears. Now, orient yourself within this refuge. What is beneath you? Is it cool sand shifting under your feet? Maybe soft moss that yields gently when you step. Smooth wooden floors warmed by sunlight. Feel the ground. Let it support you. This place does not ask you to perform. It does not require you to justify your existence, choices, or exhaustion. In this refuge, no one assigns you a role. You are not the peacemaker, the caretaker, translator, mediator, or the emotional shock absorber. Here, you are just you. Notice how your body responds to being here. Does your breath deepen without being told to? Do your shoulders drop as if they've finally been given permission? Does your jaw unclench, or maybe your belly softens? These, my friend, are not imaginary responses. They are real-time feedback from your nervous system. This is what regulation feels like when it's allowed to happen. Take a moment to look around your inner refuge. Notice the quality of light. Is it bright, filtered, dusk soft? Notice any sounds. Wind through the leaves, distant water, quiet hum. This place doesn't demand conversation. Silence is welcome here. If it feels right, imagine a boundary around this refuge. Not to keep you trapped inside, but to keep the space yours. Only what is supportive can enter. Everything else stays outside without drama, without explanation. Now, here's the crucial part, my witchling. This refuge is portable. You do not have to wait until you are alone. You don't have to leave the house. You don't even have to end the conversation or win the argument. You can bring this refuge with you. You can carry it into the dining room. You can step into it with a single breath while someone is talking over you. You can feel the ground of it beneath your feet while smiling politely, nodding, or choosing not to engage. One breath in. Remember the refuge. One breath out. Feel your body return to it. You are not escaping. You are resourcing. This is what sovereignty looks like in practice. Not domination, not control, but choice. The choice to return to yourself again and again and again, regardless of what's happening around you. You do not have to convince anyone of your truth in order to live it. You do not have to be understood to be valid. You do not have to stay dysregulated to prove you care. Let your hands remain on your heart and belly for one more breath. Feel the steadiness there. Feel the quiet authority of being rooted in yourself. Your inner refuge is always available. Your sovereignty is not up for debate. And you can return here anytime you need without asking permission. And as we begin to move toward the close of this meditation, let everything we've touched so far start to weave together. You don't need to hold it all in your mind. Your body already knows what to keep. Trust that. Remember this clearly and without apology. Your boundaries are not a failure of love. They are an expression of wisdom. They are what love looks like when it has learned the cost of self-abandonment and chosen another way. Many, many, many of us were taught, explicitly or quietly, that if we truly cared, we would endure anything. That love meant over-explaining, over-giving, and over-functioning. That keeping the peace was more important than keeping ourselves intact. But wisdom says something different. Wisdom says that love without boundaries is not sustainable. Wisdom says that your nervous system matters. You do not have to win an argument to be safe. You do not have to change someone's mind to justify your limits. You do not have to provide footnotes, personal history, or a freaking PowerPoint presentation to defend your no. No is a complete sentence. Let that land in your body. Notice where it feels relieving and where it feels uncomfortable. Both responses are completely welcome here. Choosing not to engage is not weakness. That is discernment. Stepping outside to touch some grass, to breathe fresh air, check on the dogs, rinse your hands in cool water. Honey, these are not cop-outs. They are acts of self-regulation. They are you recognizing when your system needs a reset and responding with care. Self-care does not have to be elaborate to be effective. Sometimes it looks like a pause. Sometimes it looks like distance. And sometimes it looks like silence. All right. Now let's integrate this somatically. Imagine that throughout your life, and especially during this season, you've sent pieces of your energy outward threads of attention, concern, vigilance, and responsibility. You've extended them to manage moods, anticipate reactions, soften conflict, and keep everybody else comfortable. Without judgment, acknowledge how much effort that took. And now, imagine gently drawing those threads back to yourself. Not ripping them away, not snapping them in anger, just carefully, gently gathering them one by one with patience and intention. As you inhale, imagine those threads returning to your heart. Feel the warmth of your own energy coming home. As you exhale, let that energy settle downward into your center, into your belly, roots, and the place where your sense of self lives. Inhale, gathering. Exhale, settling. Inhale, gathering. And exhale, settling all of that energy into your center. If any part of you worries that pulling your energy back will make you selfish or unkind, pause and offer reassurance. You are not withdrawing love. You are redirecting it. You are choosing to include yourself in the circle of care. Now, quietly and firmly begin to repeat this phrase inside yourself, letting it adapt as needed. I am allowed. I am allowed to protect my peace. I am allowed to choose what I engage with. I am allowed to leave the room. I am allowed to change the subject. I am allowed to rest without fixing anything. I am allowed to take up space exactly as I am. Let each statement land where it needs to. You don't have to believe every one of them fully yet. Willingness is enough. Curiosity is enough. Notice how your body responds to these permissions. Does something soften? Does something resist? Both are part of integration, and there is no rush. Integration is not about becoming a different person overnight. It's about giving your system a new reference point, a felt sense of choice, of agency, of return. You are returning home to yourself now. Home is not a place you earn by being good. It is not conditional on agreement or approval. Home is the feeling of being inside your own skin without bracing. Take one more slow, deliberate breath. Feel your weight your center, and the quiet strength of knowing that you can meet the world without abandoning yourself. When you step back into your day or into a room that feels charged, this integration goes with you, not as armor, but as grounding. Not as distance, but as clarity. You don't have to do this perfectly. You don't have to remember every word. Your nervous system has been listening the entire time. And if you forget, if you find yourself pulled outward again, you can always return to this simple truth. I am allowed. Let that be enough as we close. All right, my witchlings. As we begin to close this practice, take a moment to gently re-inhabit your body. Wiggle some fingers, maybe your toes, or your shoulders, just a smidge. If your eyes are closed, let them stay closed for a breath or two longer. If they're open, soften your gaze. No rush at all. You are returning on your own time. Pause here and acknowledge what you chose tonight. You chose self-protection over self-betrayal. You chose presence over dissociation. You chose to listen to your body instead of overriding it. That is not small work. That is brave work. So thank yourself. Not in a performative way, not with pressure to, quote, do better next time. Just a quiet, honest thank you for showing up, for staying, and for tending your own flame when it would have been so much easier to just ignore it. As you move back into your evening, or perhaps drift into a deep, protected sleep, carry this steadiness with you. You don't need to grip it tightly. Let it walk beside you like a trusted companion. What you practiced here doesn't end when the meditation ends. It lives in your breath, posture, and the moment you choose pause instead of reaction. Go out into the world, my witchlings, and spread love, spread joy, and spread kindness, not in a way that costs you your safety, not in a way that requires you to disappear, but in a way that is rooted, sustainable, and real. There is already more than enough hate and darkness circulating freely. The world does not need you to burn yourself out to counter it. It needs steady lights. It needs people who can stay human without hardening. Be beacons of hope, not blinding, not demanding, simply present. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships. It simply stands where it is and shines. And please, tell your loved ones that they matter. Tell the ones who walk on two legs that they are precious to you. Tell the ones who fly with wings, the ones who curl up with fur like my own furry little demons, that they are absolutely deeply loved. Tell the ones who glide on scales, or the ones who tiptoe on tiny little paws and claws, yes, even the gloriously opinionated furry overlord of my own home, that they are absolutely cherished. Say it out loud when you can. Show it in small ways when words feel hard. Moments slip away faster than we expect. Days blur, seasons turn. And those last goodbyes? Yeah. Love expressed is never wasted. Connection offered now matters. If it's possible, get out of the house, touch some grass, feel the air on your face. Let your eyes rest on something alive. The nervous system heals in relationship with nature, breath, movement, laughter, and rest. May your days be filled with love, and may they hold joy where joy can land. May there be magic, quiet or wild, subtle or bright, woven through your ordinary moments. And please, always, always, always remember, you are loved. You are wanted. You are needed. You genuinely have a purpose in this life, even if you haven't named it yet, if it's still unfolding, and honestly, even if it looks nothing like what you were told it should be. I didn't figure mine out until I was 45. There is no deadline on becoming yourself. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time for your life. Carry that truth gently. Carry it stubbornly if you must. I love you all to bits. Namaste, Witchlings. Rest well, shine steady, and come back to yourself whenever you need. Merry Christmas.